Welcome everybody, welcome to the tomb of illumination. This is the realm we live in. It's an illuminated realm. And down here on earth we have people that get illuminated. They know stuff. They're not flipping weird green creatures from the deep sea like someone, who's that English character, the ex-soccer player? Funny stuff like that. So like it's batshit crazy stuff, you know what I mean? They always throw a little bit of that in with the divine truth. I don't know where you got that stuff from, but anyway, he's on the right track with the divine truth. I'm not naming names, am I? No. But anyway, this is part 3 to all about what religion is. And, you know, some people are so indoctrinated from a young age, they've come to believe the Jesus story as a factual story regarding a particular man, long brown hair and white skin, going through a terrible death. Well, it's all rubbish. That part of it is just analogy of the actual person who goes through enlightenment. It could be black, yellow, green, whatever. It's not the one character portrayed as, you know, that image you see of Jesus. So it's enlightenment, and this is the whole meaning to life. Because our earth has been illuminated. Every one of us has to be illuminated to enter the heaven. Otherwise we just get recycled until we do wake up. This is waking up the soul. Now, I'm going to read some paragraphs, what do you call them, out of the Bible? Because I'm not religious. I wasn't brought up in this thing, so I haven't been indoctrinated, so I see the other side. See, people might think I'm talking rubbish, but it all makes sense. So check out my last 2 videos about what Christ is represented here. How? On the cross and everything. Okay? So, Isaiah 48:13. Star alignment. It's all celestial, you see. What they're talking about, it's all the non-physical. We're down in the physical, we understand that, we're living it, we know it. We have to understand the non-physical and the spiritual to ascend, because that's our other half. We have a non-physical half that's hidden, and we have to get to it through here. So Isaiah 48:13, my hand laid the foundation of the earth, and my right hand spread out the heavens. When I call to them, they stand forth together. And I've been talking about the star alignments of the 2 rotations, northern hemisphere rotation and the southern hemisphere rotation. There is an alignment. It's called man's hour. It's all written in religion. So when he's saying, when I call to them, they stand forth together. That's meaning there is the alignment, right? Now it starts off, my hand laid the foundation of the earth. My hand, the awoke one, and this is where the stapling of the hands to the cross, this is the analogy, but in reality, this is the picture. The two lines on your hand, right there, is raised up. It's mentioned several times in the Bible about right hand raising up, held in the palm of my right hand, blah, blah, blah. It's all there. He's the guy. So, my hand laid the foundation of the earth. So you're looking at that, and what is it? It's the sign of Pisces, isn't it? The whole Jesus story is the sign of Pisces, the fishers, the fishermen. So my hand laid the foundation of the earth, and my right hand spread out the heavens. So that's his right hand, and he's spreading out. So that's parked in the middle. He's separating them, basically. Spread out the heavens. It's all alluding to the one thing. The gap, the celestial gap between the 2 hemisphere rotations, the divine street, where Orion's belt comes through. The 3 wise men came from the east, left via another route, went west. You can see that if you haven't watched my videos before. You just see it. It's basically vertically, they go up, they're horizontal, then they go down again. Vertically, down to the west. Because they're in that gap. They do not reflect into each hemisphere because they're right in the centre. The rotation on the south, rotation in the north, Ryan's belts in this gap, a celestial gap. It's Isaiah 13, okay? It's all about this, that. The foundations of the earth is referring to the zodiac sign anyway. And then there's Pisces. So then we go into well, we know walking on water. Some people should know that by now. Santos mentioned that, how the sun, if you're on an island, you watch the sun and the seasons changing, moving across the water, walking on water, because the sun's all about Christ, right? Check out my other two videos. So we understand that, right? We see it moving. That's the declination of the ecliptic plane. As the ecliptic plane goes down and out over the season, out to the southern season, back up up and in for the northern solstice. So that's the D, you see. Down and out is the southern season, up and in is the northern solstice. Southern solstice, northern solstice. Okay, so you will see it drifting south for the north, yeah, going south, isn't it? It'll be for the southern, coming down to the southern solstice, and down here in the south we see it going north for moving into the northern solstice and our winter. But nobody's told you this one, have they? Throwing the net on the right side of the boat to catch the fish. Well, in the previous video I talked all about how it's coming down this way for this enlightenment, this whole Jesus story. So coming down the right side, so throwing the net, you throw a net out over the water, what does it look like? It starts going like that, doesn't it? It's like the cloak. It's forming that there. And you've probably seen this symbol here too, haven't you? It's meta. It's the meta symbol. You know, Bill Gates and all, they all know all this stuff. It's all hidden from the individual. It's what that symbol represents. So you throw out a fishing net, it goes like that. Well, that's what's happening here in the inner lemma, sun's inner lemma. This is falling back down this way. It says on the right hand side, you catch the fish. So you're coming down this side, you're in Pisces. So at that point there, Pisces, the moon in Pisces for 3 days. He will raise you up in 3 days. It's the moon signs in Pisces for 3 days. So there you go. It's talking about this side again. It only happens this way in the season. There's only one divine moment, a universal moment. That's why it's all through religion. All alludes to the one divine event. It only happens down this way. Is it coming into the southern equinox? There's the cross, dot on the cross, coming down this way. Okay? So I'll read some more of these I've got here. It's been a couple of days, I've forgotten what they were referred to actually. And the John 1:14, and the Word became flesh, dwelt amongst us. The Word became flesh. So God, the Christian God, the Christ event became flesh. In other words, it came into a man, just a normal man. If you watch a video or read about John, he's just a normal guy. He's not pretentious. No big deal. But he was the right man. That's why he became Son of God. Well, he's an example of the Son of God. And the Word became flesh and dwelt amongst us. And we have seen his glory. Glory as only Son from the Father, full of grace and truth. So he's the divine event. It must only happen, I think only happens every 2,160 years, every cycle, every constellation at the end times, at the end of it. Because we had all the star alignment, this whole thing, Revelation, everything. 2017, September 2017, on the 6th day, it was all on the internet. You could punch that in, 6th of September, it would all come up, but now, no, it's all gone. They change the past all the time. Now they're putting it down as the 23rd, the equinox. It's all garbage. It's the 6th of September. Okay? I've got papers I can show you, but they're in my earlier videos anyway. So, like I say, this is associated with the earth, the son of the earth, and the Son of Man. So, when he says here, and we have seen his glory as the only Son, we've only got one Son on earth, and it's dead center here, but many images out here. Everybody sees their own image because it's an image. It's not the actual Sun way back here. This is at one end of the Milky Way, and the other end of the Milky Way is in here. That's where we see the image moving in here. But every man actually sees an image on his arc of horizon. You have to check out all my other videos for that one. Glory is as of the only Son from the Father, full of grace and truth. The only Son of the Father. You have to consider the Father as the black hole. It's the vortex. It's in the vortex, eh? The black hole is where all the frequencies is created. It's like a bugle, the horn of a trumpet or something. All the sound coming out, and it hit the right frequency and illuminated the sun. So the sun sits there holding all the frequencies. So the only Son from the Father. So you think of creation like that, but then you also think of man on earth. The only Son, because he's been awoken, he's been enlightened. Moving on. John 2:19. Jesus answered them, destroy this temple, and in 3 days I will raise it up. So he's killing off the old way thinking, the old mentality of this particular dude, and creating a new life. He doesn't die physically. It's a spiritual thing, psychological thing. And that's where you get that story about the wine. You can't put new wine into an old wine skin because it cracks up. I think when you remove the wine, the skin will dry and crack up. Then it will leak if you go and put more wine into it. You don't put new wine into an old body, basically. So you've got to flush this human psyche out of him. This is the death. It's all a divine event, nothing painful, and then reset it. That's what it's all about. This is John 14:6. Jesus said to him, I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. So you have to have been woken up in the middle of the night and have your name called the third time. If you stand, woe to he who stands, it says in John, or somewhere. And you will be glorified. You will be raised up spiritually. Your whole divine event will take place. Right, we have Luke 22:69. But from now on the Son of Man shall be seated at the right hand of the power of God. The right hand. So it's obviously all about one particular person who can be born physically in Capricorn, Saturnia, be conceived in March 25th-ish, wherever, in Pisces. The moon sign was in Pisces. When he was physically born, it's not the moon sign, that's the sun sign, he's Capricorn. But then when it comes around to a spiritual birth, he's over here in September, at this 6th day of September. with the moon in Pisces again. I'm the only guy who knows all the stuff. All the theologians and that of past have no idea. They've confused everything. Okay? So we cannot have Easter in April. Easter is in September. Okay? Spirit, those who worship him must worship the Spirit and truth. John 4:24. God in spirit, and those who worship him must worship in spirit and truth. Spirit and truth comes down into him. Spirit. Once you've been enlightened, you know the truth. You're good from bad. They are the witnesses. John 5:43. I have come in my Father's name, and you do not receive me. If another comes in his own name, you will receive him. That's when he calls your name. Lindsay. What? Then they go on. Truly, truly, I say to you, whoever hears my word and believes him who sent me has eternal life. He does not come into judgment, but has passed from death to life. He's been awoken. We are brain dead in this physical world. John 5:19. So Jesus said to them, truly, truly, I say to you, the Son can do nothing of his own accord, but only what he sees the Father doing. For whatever the Father does, that the Son does likewise. In other words, it's coming down into him. He's a witness. His antennas open to the higher frequency. Remember my earlier videos about the flood story about the water being released from around the pineal gland. Now it's exposed high and dry, picking up more frequencies. And the purer the water you drink, the higher your frequency. So bear that in mind. Drinking municipal water or, fluoride and all the other junk they put in there, it's not good for you. That was that. Realising these layers, the atmosphere up here is inert gases. Inert gases are invisible and unreactive, and this makes them very difficult to spot when they are mixed with other gases in the air. Oh, there's some more. John 11:9. Jesus answered, are there not, that's the 12 hours, don't know. Yeah, that's enough of that. Okay. So what have we got here? Crown of Thorns, star planets was alignment on the 6th day of January I was just telling you about, 2017. Check it out. Alignments above Virgo's head. All the 12 bodies were up around here. And Virgo, in the celestial alignment. See, the 6th of September. Right. Jews. There was no J. Use. Pronounced use. So basically you go, it was pronounced you. Because God is within you. We can all be gods. God-like, he says in the Bible. But there's the mainframe. The earth is one big, it's the mainframe. We're all connected to it. We become our own gods. God-like. Understand that? Basically a brain. We have a brain. Right hand raised up. There's the lump. Mark of the beast. Out of the north. Place of creation. Mark of the beast. It's the heavenly place. That's where creation is. You've got a mark from that now. You're one. You've gone back home. He holds you in the palm of his right hand. These are all these. You could read all these. Whether I did just then or not, I'm not sure. Okay. sit at the right hand side. This is all regarding the palm, the right hand of the palm. Another one, you anoint my head with oil, is mentioned in there. This is the elixir. It's the release of the oil from the pituitary gland or pineal gland, somewhere around there. That's what gets flushes through your system, part of the flood story. John, I can do nothing on my own. It's through Jesus Christ, it's through God. You're connected to the universe, the higher frequencies. It all comes into your head. John 19:33. When they saw that Jesus was already dead, they did not break his legs. See? He died on the cross. These are the legs coming down. They're not broken. Because you're coming into this equinox season. It's all regarding the sun's analemma. Resurrection, resurrected. The 3 days resurrected. John 2:19. Resurrected. So 3 days, so you can go 3 days for Pisces, which is actually 2.5 days. Or you can go with that story that, 1,000 years on earth is only a year in heaven or something like that. I can't remember what it is. But anyway, you could say this whole event only takes 30 minutes, but it could be written as 3 years or 3 days or something else like that. You've got to think, and I haven't got it all on my head at the moment. So, when they talk about times, they're different. Up there is different to the earthly time. Unless that was referring to the 3 days in the tomb, it is, the tomb is, because it's 2.5 days. So you count Wednesday was Pisces, that's Ash Wednesday, then it went Thursday, and then it became Good Friday. So that was 3:03 in the morning on a Wednesday morning. So you've got Thursday morning, it's going to be Thursday morning, Friday morning to Friday lunchtime, thereabouts. It's 2.5 days, or like that, roughly. So understanding that, leaving the childhood images of the Jesus story behind you. We all love the Jesus stories, most people do, because of the dialogue, mainly, isn't it? And we're connected to that beautiful language or whatever. So we'll leave it at that, okay? Cool.